Hey Saucies, so I just wanted to get on here really quickly and make a video about Isis the trophy wife. I don't really know a whole lot about this story because everyone who has come forward so far have been very, very vague. One minute, the trophy wife is accusing her husband of touching her children, and then the niece of the husband comes out and says that it was Isis's son. But when she made her video doing the so-called expose of Isis, she didn't come off like she had very much sympathy for Isis or any concern for the children, really. It was more or less her coming forward trying to throw dirt on this woman's name and characterize her as this ruthless gold digger that just wanted her uncle for his money. And so I got a little bit more information from one of my faves. Again, Neek at Night is one of my favorites because Neek at Night, she really just kind of brings you the story. She doesn't talk about skin tone too much. She never hates on light-skinned women or mixed race women. She just brings the facts to you and just talks about different parts of the story and gives an objective opinion about what was said and what was done and provides receipts while doing that. So it just seems like a lot of people that come for Isis and saying that she's lying, and they try to say that she's just this evil little, little sneaky, huzzy type of lady that's coming for this man, trying to take advantage of him for his money. And, people like the spiritual whistleblower, people like that, who come out and publicly accuse Shira Seven and Ashley Dalton of quote unquote taking advantage of these men. And I just really think it's funny that nobody ever talks about the husbands or these men. For one thing, Isis's husband is significantly older than her. Last time I checked, he had his ass on eHarmony just like she did, and he was looking for that trophy wife, that arm piece, that beautiful woman who's younger than him, who's fertile, who can give him a lot of children. That's what he was looking for. He certainly didn't want anybody his own age. He wanted someone significantly younger. He wanted a mother for his children, and he wanted someone really, really young. So, it's these guys, they don't want anybody their own age, so he knew what he was doing. So how can a young girl who's in her 20s, I think she's 26 years old, and he's like 10-15 years her senior, how could she take advantage of him? He's supposed to be like this wise, prudent businessman who has all this money, and he's getting taken advantage of by a young girl who's in her 20s. I mean, get the fuck out of here. So his niece comes out with this little video, and all she's thinking about doing is like protecting her uncle. And she's only doing it because he's rich, and she's looking like the same shallow person that she's trying to accuse Isis of being. Because her uncle is rich, she's trying to come out and protect him, just similar to how like a lot of people in Blackistan who have these family members who are like, PDF files, and then they like try to protect them and try to cover for them. That everybody knows in Blackistan that you have like this one uncle or that one guy, cousin, or somebody in your family that's not, quote unquote right. And you warn your daughters and you warn your sons not to sit on their lap or give them a hug or hang around with them, by yourself because they're kind of like, off or weird. You got that weird family member that everybody wants to protect. Yeah, that kind of lady. Like if she basically made a video saying that Isis's son. So Isis was a single mom when she was 17. So she's 26 now. So her son, I don't know how old he is because she has 5 children, I believe. So her oldest has to be about 9 or 10 years old. So she has 5 children who are under the age of 10 years old. And you're accusing one of her kids of actually being the one to SA his younger sisters. I mean, this is really what we're doing right now. And even if that were true, why didn't you try to get the little boy some help? Why didn't you come to Isis and her husband privately and talk about this? Why bring it on social media? And not only did you bring it on social media, you like revealed Isis's real name on top of that. So on top of the smoke and all these jealous ass bitches coming at her, now they know her real name too, on top of that. And then you're like dropping, like, you think you're telling a secret, like a deep dark secret that she's trying to cover up and everything, and you I don't know. It's just with all the criticism and all the scrutiny, you think that you would be trying to do everything you can to protect, those kids and their mom, protect their safety and their privacy. You wouldn't, somebody who really cares would not get on social media trying to prove anything. If anything, like, this goes beyond her content creation of being a trophy wife. This goes beyond how to get a man that's rich. This goes beyond all the content that she made. This goes way beyond that, because now you're crossing into a very egregious territory. These kids need protection. They need love. They need counseling. They need therapy. And it's going to take years and years and years for them to heal, for them to get over the trauma of their childhood, if any of this is true at all. But I don't have any reason to believe that it's not, because the husband hasn't said anything. And Isis, she seemed very genuine when she made her video, I Married a Monster. She seemed like she was very, very hurt. And she seemed like she was just, very genuine. It didn't seem like it was a ploy or anything like that. If it is, then she's a very good actress. But she did show receipts. And I don't think she has anything to prove to anyone. If this happened, now she has to concentrate on her children's well-being and the well-being of her and safety of her children, and helping them get over the trauma of being SA8. So I just really think that the niece and her plastic ass wig needs to go sit the fuck down somewhere. Honestly, I thought that video was just absolutely not needed. And really, this whole ordeal wasn't needed, because social media is not the place to talk about things like that. But if she just had to come out, I guess she wanted to share that with her audience. She has her own reasons, I'm quite sure. So whatever her reasons were, no judgment on her. She, at the end of the day, is the only one that's going to protect those kids. And it took nothing short of strength and just strength and I don't know. We'll just go with strength right now, because I can't think of it right now. I can't think of what else. But it took strength. It took bravery, to come out and say that. Because at the end of the day, this is her life. This is her family. These are her kids. So, I don't know. If anything, this niece should be praying for her. These basic Betties, the spiritual whistleblower. It's always crazy, too, that people who are the least spiritual always have to advertise how spiritual they are. You ever notice that? Like, everybody who's like the most demonic motherfuckers on the planet always have to put spiritual and Jesus and everything in their name, in their handle, to show you how spiritual they are. Like, get a life, honestly. And then something else the niece had said in her video really triggered me too, because she was trying to accuse Isis of quote unquote taking advantage of her uncle. And that part triggered me too, because like I said, he was the older one. He looks like, if you look at their wedding photo, he looks like he could be old, like he could be her dad. You're not sure if that's her dad or her husband. So taking advantage of him is a little bit of a stretch. He's fully grown. He knows what he's doing. So taking advantage of him, that's a stretch. Her and him both got out of each other what they wanted. She wanted a rich husband, and he wanted a trophy wife. And that's what she was. So if anybody is taking advantage, or if anybody has the short end of the stick, it would be Isis and not him. Because even still, by her being his quote unquote trophy wife, she still has to work to stay relevant in his life. Like, she still has to compete with other women. Even if she is his wife, she still has to keep her armpits and her forearm hairs shaved, her upper lip or whatever she's doing, do all of this little tedious stuff, wake up before he gets up so he doesn't see her without makeup. She has to keep her makeup done and her weight down. She has to be like still working. And when she made the video, about being like, the one that I Married a Monster, she mentioned in the video that she had to think of a story. I'm going out to get the kids some Halloween costumes or something like that, just to leave the house. So who's really trapping who? Like, she didn't trap him. Like, what do you mean? Like, she didn't essay him and make him get her pregnant. She did not trap him or take advantage of him. If anybody's trapped, it's her. Clearly, she can't move around freely. Clearly, there's a bigger price that she's paying in order to live a lifestyle like that. Clearly, to be a trophy wife, it takes work. She can't slop around in her pajamas and her bonnet and gain weight and eat bonbons all fucking day. She has to work at that just to keep his attention on her. And he's not really a prize anyway. I mean, I don't want to, talk about anybody's looks, but I mean, come on. I mean, he's not the most handsome guy on the planet. Like, he's not. He's like very basic looking, and he looks older than her. And from afar, he does look like he could be her dad. You really don't know the difference. I didn't know the difference, So, I just think that was just unnecessary digs that she took at Isis, and she needs to keep her mouth closed. Because honestly, she just made herself look bad. She's not helping the situation at all. She's just making herself look worse or just look bad by coming out with that video. Like, what was that supposed to prove in the first place? I mean, that was just completely unnecessary. And right now, she doesn't really need all of that stuff because she has to still take care of her kids. So honestly, I really think that the best thing that the niece and anybody else in his family that wants to come forward should just wait and just see what happens, see how it all plays out. I think they should just be silent and draw as little attention to themselves as possible, because nobody lived in that home but Isis and her husband. So I just think that the best thing is just to offer as much support to her and her children as possible if you really care. Offer prayer and a love and just silence, and draw as little attention to yourselves as possible, and just wait and see what happens. But the kids should come first. All this fighting online and trying to prove stuff and clapping back is really not needed at this time. So whether this story is real or if it's not, or if it's a ploy or whatever's going on, I just wish Isis and her children the absolute best. I'm going to pray for them and their well-being, their safety, and that they have the strength to get over the traumas and the hurt that was caused. And actually, I'm going to repeat what Chrissy said, actually. She could, which was a very good idea. Chrissy did suggest that she take her channel into a different direction and document her healing journey if she wants to make content, because for some people, content making is a form of therapy. So if she wants to journal her healing process or healing journey, that would be a good direction to take her channel into. She could continue making content like that and continue her income stream from content making. So that was a good idea. I don't watch Chrissy usually, but I just had to see what she had to say, because I just knew she was going to be bashing this young lady because she was light-skinned, but I was pleasantly surprised she didn't. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the situation. Like I said, I really think that the niece's video was just totally uncalled for. All the digs that she took at that woman, and certainly putting her real name out there, like, shame on her for that. But I just hope that everything turns out well for her and her kids and everything, and that she has peace, and her kids are able to find healing and peace as well. So thank you guys for listening. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.